Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Popcorn and Coffee Table Talk. I'm your host, Jesse. With me on my right is my co-host, Jay. How are you, sir?
Good. How you guys doing?
And over on the desk is Colin. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Are we ready to discuss some things?
Yes. Lots of happenings.
There's a couple things right up front that I think are pretty interesting that we should just go ahead and get out of the way. There's nothing we can do about it. Disney's made up their mind. But they put Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 as well as Logan on Disney+. What are our thoughts of R-rated movies on Disney+?
I think that's ridiculous. I let my kids go on Disney Plus and
Just pick whatever they want.
pick what they want to watch. Yeah. Now I can't, or I have to be a little more. I have to be in the room now when they're I don't know.
I have to watch my kids now. Thanks, Disney. I used to let you have free reign.
Have they rolled out anything content-wise as far as what you can control to where you could do a Disney Plus Kids to where it's limited to only titles under the PG banner or less?
Have they?
I haven't seen.
I don't believe
yet.
so. I don't believe so.
You would almost have to.
That's what I would think.
Because it's such a children's-dominated platform.
You would think. But, I mean, they've always had, though, if you go on... Because you can, subcategorize things. So if you go to Marvel, you're just getting Marvel stuff. Most of the time, Marvel stuff isn't front and center, especially once other stuff starts playing. So if my kids keep watching Luca, it's going to start recommending and showing stuff that's just around that.
Right.
But there's always... All the X-Men movies that have been on there, those are PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
All of the Marvel movies have been on there, and Star Wars movies.
Yes, but the Star Wars movies and Marvel movies don't have the F word in them.
It's true. I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
It's not the violence that bothers me.
I remember there was talks early on, because Disney owns Hulu as well, that they were going to put all their mature content on Hulu, and all their kids' content was going to go on Disney+.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be doing that. But yeah, so now your kids can just accidentally stumble across Deadpool. And that is a graphic movie. That first Deadpool, both Deadpool movies and Logan are very graphic in content and everything. So yeah, that does suck.
I mean, thankfully, the cover for Logan might not interest the kids, but Deadpool, I could see my youngest being like, "That's funny. I'm gonna watch that."
I think it's a little much for a platform like that that's geared towards children to start putting that kind of stuff on there.
Hopefully, they had parameters like that where you can be at least on that profile that they
should be able to. Yeah, that at the very least they should start.
That would be the best way to handle it if you're gonna host everything on one. Is give your people the option of separating the children's profile and giving it the limitations.
Yeah, password protect some stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if is Disney losing money with Hulu? Is it
I don't think so, because one of the things we're going to talk about later, it's not out yet, but their Prey movie, so their newest Predator movie, is directly to Hulu. But they showed it at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's getting mad reviews.
Yeah.
People are saying this movie's better than the original Predator movie.
Wow.
Which is insane. So no, Hulu's doing well.
Okay.
You know.
I heard Netflix isn't. So I heard they lost 1 million subscribers or something like that.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, they don't have much.
No.
They really don't have much anymore.
No. Well, no, because all their movies, if they were Disney, they went to Disney Plus, and now that Hulu owns them, so all those movies are taken off. So the only movies they're getting is their originals. Maybe I think some DreamWorks stuff on there.
Yeah, and then they got their original content, but most of their original content is subpar. The best of their stuff is obviously a Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things. Yeah, that's it.
That's the most popular, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll just get into it now. But I did get an opportunity to watch The Gray Man when it came out on Friday. And it's Netflix's highest budget of any of their... It was over $200,000 to make. So that's Netflix's highest...
200 million?
Yeah, what'd I say?
1,000.
No. Yeah, it would be 200 million. Yeah, yeah. 200,000. That's
pretty low budget now.
That's like 1950s.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
yeah, yeah, that's right. But anyways, yeah, it was just okay. Unfortunately.
A lot of their movies, I watched the one with Chris Hemsworth and David Harbour in it.
Oh, the Extraction.
The Extractionist.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was a fun action film,
enjoyed
but it
that,
wasn't
yeah.
like fantastic.
That's how this was. I mean, visually, The Gray Man was pretty good, pretty solid. There was a lot of well choreographed fight scenes in it. There was no story. There was no story. It was just, here's a blank character doing blank things. But it was fun to see Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans fight.
The guy I work with said he really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it was bad by any means, but if you were looking for it to shock you in any way in terms of like, oh, I did not see that coming, yeah, you weren't gonna get that.
Yeah, his biggest takeaway was Chris Evans in a villain role, and he said he'd love to see that.
You see, I would disagree, and this was a knock on it for me. Chris Evans was rather annoying in it.
Really?
He was rather annoying. Did you watch Knives Out?
Yeah.
His character in that,
Yeah.
it was like very pompous and a jerk, and
Yeah.
it was that on steroids.
Really?
And it was really just like got old. It started off fine, but by the end of the movie, that same shtick the whole way through, and you're just like, all right, just like kill him already. We know that's what's gonna happen. Spoilers. No, I don't know.
Ken can't kill Captain America.
It was funny though. Since you referenced that, I'm gonna say because it goes. He calls him Ken, a Ken doll in the movie. Chris Evans calls Ryan Gosling a Ken doll. I started cracking up, and my dad was like, "What is so funny?" I was like, "He's about to play Ken in a Barbie movie."
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
There was that. The writing, because it's a Russo brothers
Okay.
who directed it, so you can see shades of the Avengers throughout this entire thing.
Yeah.
But there is a scene where Chris Evans is sitting in a chair, and one of his henchmen comes in. And he's like, "Hey, I did this thing." Kind of like, "Are you proud of me?" And he just turns to me and he goes, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." And in my mind, I was like, I didn't know I needed to hear Chris Evans say that line, but I did. I absolutely did. But yeah, Netflix. I think they're losing.
With their Marvel original stuff, are those pulled too?
Yeah, because they're on Disney Plus now.
Oh, are they? They're already on there?
Like the
I'm
old
fairly certain you can watch all of them on Disney Plus now.
the Daredevil show, that one got pulled.
All of them.
They just bought the rights of the show or something. Because those
Well,
were made
Marvel
by
just took
Netflix,
it back.
weren't they? Weren't they made by Netflix?
Yeah, they were. Netflix had the rights to them, and then Disney bought the rights back.
Oh, they just bought them out.
Yeah. And now, again, flowing into some of the other stuff, the big talk of this week is definitely San Diego Comic-Con
Yeah.
and everything going on there. But they did come out and release a whole bunch of titles and things. So we're not going to go through necessarily all of them because it was a lot, and I don't care about all of them. But one of them was a new Daredevil series called Daredevil Reborn.
Oh, yeah.
Same cast, everybody's coming back, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah.
If Disney's going to have Netflix's Daredevil series on there, they probably won't plan on toning it back, especially if they're putting Logan and
Absolutely.
the movies on
Yeah.
Yeah,
there.
they're
They're
kind of
just-
gearing in the R direction
Yeah.
with some of their stuff now.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
They may dial it back a little bit, but probably not a ton.
They're going to have to change their intro to the castle on those movies. Just screams of horror and panic.
I'm excited to see the direction that Marvel's going to go. A lot of stuff has come out in regards to their future projects. Come in 2025, we're getting 2 more Avenger movies
Oh, wow.
and a Fantastic Four movie in 2025. So 3 years from now.
Jeez.
Those are both coming out. The Avengers ones are coming out the same year.
Same year.
Same year.
I'm going to do the spring and winter release on those probably.
It's something like that. It's like a 3-month gap.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. There's a ton of stuff coming out though. A ton of stuff. We're getting the Blade movie in there, and we're getting what they say that Black Panther comes out the end of this year, and that's going to be the end of Phase 4, and then Phase 5 is going to come out, and you're going to get Ant-Man and the Wasp and Blade, and there was a couple other movies in there.
Guardians.
The Guardians 3, that was another one, and a bunch of series, different series.
Loki 2.
Yeah.
Loki's getting a second
Yep.
season.
The Echo series.
Yeah.
The Ironheart series. Whole bunch of them. Which is really exciting to see the direction they're going to go. The only thing is that I was listening to some commentary today, which was interesting. So they've officially titled from Phase 4 to Phase 6 is the Multiverse Saga. So you had the Infinity War Saga, now they're and they officially titled it the Multiverse Saga. But if you look at when the first one came out to when the last one's going to come out in that saga, the Infinity War Saga covered 10 years of movies.
Jeez.
Okay, so that's from Iron Man 1 to Endgame. The Multiverse Saga is only going to be 4 years.
Well, they got more money now. That's one. Two, I think they know they're losing people's attention, so they're just trying to bombard us with as much content as they can. That's why we're getting the series every couple months and all that.
Think so?
Yeah. So I think people were kind of after I think after Endgame, people were kind of like, okay, I'm done. Even though Spider-Man
People definitely weren't done with Spider-Man.
no. I mean, like, even though they had that, but then they were, I think after that one, they were like, okay, I don't want, was it Phase 3 that was done? Spider-Man ended Phase 3. I think that was when people were like, okay, I'm done with superhero movies for a while. Because I think, what did we get after that? We've
had Eternals, we've had Shang-Chi, we've had Black Widow, which was not really tied to any of them.
Yeah.
We've had Thor, and a lot of series. All the series we've had so far have been a part of that Phase 4.
Yeah. I just think they know that people are getting tired, and so they're like, we got to push this stuff out fast.
Yeah, I just think they're rushing it, and I don't know why they're rushing it. Maybe they're losing people. A good judge of that would be the box offices. Are they really losing people or not? You know what I mean? I'm not sure.
It could be that they've built enough foundational groundwork to where they don't have to do as much, or they perceive that they don't have to do as much.
That could be.
So they feel like they don't have to take a 10-year hike to get to Endgame. They can kind of plug in some people, utilize the series to push more characters, and then let that build the groundwork for the films and then pump the films out. And that might be why it's an accelerated approach.
So do you think it feels rushed so far?
So far, it doesn't.
I would say it does.
Just because we don't have like the super team up movie for another, you said, 3 years?
Yeah, we're not getting an Avenger movie till 15, so
I think that's fine. Because the last one, when was Endgame? When did that come out?
2019.
So you go from 19 to 2025 between big team up movies.
Yeah.
I feel like that's plenty of time to establish some new characters.
And how many years was there between Iron Man and the first Avengers movie? First Avengers came out in 2011? No, 2012. So 08 to 12?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of on brand.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you're not that.
To go from like
but that's
to
okay. But
Endgame.
that depends on if you're comparing, because these two movies, and this is going to be the end of the Multiverse Saga, which is the second Avenger movie. So you're getting Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers
Secret Wars.
Was it Secret Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're getting both those back to back. If those are supposed to be your Infinity War and Endgame, then that gap's way bigger than if it's just your 2012 Iron Man movie.
I doubt they're going to be... That's not going to be your Infinity War and Endgame. I think
it is, though.
No, it's not.
Oh, it absolutely is. They said that.
It'll be that for the saga as the closers.
Yeah.
But it just depends on the scale they're trying to go for. If they're trying to build a replica scale to Infinity War and Endgame, and that you need all that time to set that up. But if it's more of like just a fun alternate reality kind of spin, detour between phases, then I don't think you necessarily have to give it that much build. Because it's a lot of just oddball characters and really weird premises for the most part.
Yeah, so far. I mean, they haven't established a big bad yet, so.
Yeah, and that's another thing, is like if it's going to be another every hero versus giant villain, then yeah, they're kind of behind. because that was teased well in advance. But if it's just
Yeah,
getting
but
to
we didn't
see a
even
lot
see
of
Thanos
characters,
until Infinity War. Really, you saw him in a couple end credit scenes,
Right.
but as a major
he
character,
was
you
at
didn't
least
see him.
teased early,
Yeah,
pretty well in advance of those two.
But that's why it shocks me that they're releasing Secret Wars before Kang, because Secret Wars is Doctor Doom is the main villain in it. And if they're releasing Fantastic Four, it would be wise for them to, if the Fantastic Four is going to be the new heads of the Avengers, it would be wise of them to have Doom as their main villain, like he's their big.
maybe. I could see you doing a low key villain for the Fantastic Four movie with, because I mean, we already talked about it last week. The concept art for Black Panther, which comes out this year, is supposed to introduce Doom at the end of it. So he's already Thanosing things in the background. If we're playing by those rules, he's already going to be established, much akin to what Thanos is doing in an end credit scene, if that's what they do. We'll find out in November, but
Yeah, it'll all kind of hinge on just the narrative that they're trying to build.
yeah,
If it's just Doom is Thanos 2.0, then
we'll see.
they kind of have to seed him in. But what is the premise of Secret Wars? I've heard that name from the comics before, but I don't know what exactly that is.
It was a big story arc for Marvel. I don't know. I never read that one, so I didn't get into that story arc. But I know it was a huge ordeal when it came out.
I know, but I don't know. Because we're also getting what's the one with the scroll? Invasion something. I don't remember.
Was it a Captain Marvel scroll invasion or something?
I think it's a series we're getting. All right, we're getting off in the weeds to the point where we don't know what we're talking about. So we're going to recenter this thing back to. We can cover more of this later.
Back to tank.
Back to tank.
Back to thing.
But I mean, San Diego Comic-Con also released that they're coming out with a What If Season 2.
Nice.
I guess it's supposed to heavily revolve around zombie characters.
Okay.
Marvel Zombies. Thank you.
Why are we still beating the zombie horse?
I'm not sure. There was only one episode in the last What If series where they had zombies included in it, and most fans of the comic books didn't like it.
Right.
So we'll see where they go with it.
Yeah, it just kind of seems tired at this point.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched an episode the other day. I can't remember which one it was.
I watched a couple of them, but yeah, I found them rather lackluster.
Yeah.
They weren't as interesting as I thought they were going to be.
The kids liked them, but
Plus, we got Chadwick back. R.I.P.
that was the best one.
That was the best one, and it was, but that had nothing to do with how good the show was.
Yeah.
It was just because they had Chadwick Boseman to voice it.
Yeah.
So, I don't care about that.
No.
The difference between with like Marvel zombies in the comic books and what the movies have been portraying them as, not the Doctor Strange movie because that's its own thing, but like the Marvel zombie comic, they could still talk and use their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So if Doctor Strange did turn into a zombie in the comics, he could still use magic. And if Iron Man turned into a zombie in the comics, he could still use his suit and talk. So never read them. I don't know why.
Yeah, to
But
me,
people
that
who
makes
read
no
those
sense.
really like those.
Okay. It's more like a niche thing.
Must be. I don't know.
And it's like, why not just leave the characters alive if they're going to be able to do exactly the same thing?
Yeah. I don't know.
Marvel needed a marketing thing for Halloween because DC did horror stuff for Halloween. They would always do. So
Is Marvel dying?
Is Marvel dying?
Yeah.
Their comics or their movies?
The movies.
Oh, I think the movies are.
Have we gassed out on Marvel movies?
I think their quality is starting to fade in terms of compelling characters, stories, and how much I care at this point.
That sucks.
Yeah. But you know what? The comics go through these phases too. So like
Yeah.
in another 10, 20 years,
And that doesn't
when we're in
mean-
our 60s.
That doesn't mean individual movies can't still be good, you know? Like the Ant-Man movie
Yeah.
can't still be good, or when they give us the Fantastic Four movie, everyone's gonna be super pumped about that, or an X-Men movie. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all gonna go out in droves to the theaters and watch those.
Well, yeah, those are new characters too, though.
Well, that's true.
Ant-Man's not, but Fantastic Four, that's a new. We're getting that new set. Like with Thor, it's like, okay, we've seen this guy 4 times in his own movie, and then
We've seen him 4 times.
nice.
Thanks.
And it's like, even if we got another Iron Man movie, would we really care at this point?
I mean, yeah, because he's dead.
well,
We're about to get another Iron Man movie.
Yeah, at this point, they're going to hinge their future on new characters. And I think that's about the only way they can pull themselves out of a giant pitfall of just beating these old characters into the ground. They just put some fresh faces in there, give some different characters like the oddball stuff, and hope that that's enough to pull them along and keep them moving in that same sort of trajectory.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to hit Endgame and Infinity War level highs again, unless they really build this series well.
I hope Doctor Doom is a good character, an intimidating character.
depends on who they get to play him.
Yeah.
I always thought Michael Fassbender would have played a good Doom, but
Kind of already has. Magneto's very similar.
oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah, he could do it well.
But
Yeah, it'll all come down to the writing. And if they pull some of the kind of villain arcs they did with the Thor movie, as much as we didn't love that one, that was still something they did pretty decent with Gore.
Oh,
Giving him a different, refreshing kind of ride out to him. If they can do something kind of like that, then that would at least be satisfying and not just kill him off villain like they normally do.
But they're still going to be cranking out like 3 movies a year now, plus the series, and they're just shoving content in our faces.
And they're undoubtedly making billions. Billions off of this
yeah,
stuff still. So it's like the train is still going, the fire's hot, keep pumping the content out.
Disney is pretty much the Snowpiercer train.
That's
this
unstoppable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable as long as it's being fueled by.
fueled by what, the slaves they had working in the
I
back?
don't remember what the train was fueled by.
The bodies of the people.
So Jamie Lee Curtis would love to be in a Marvel film. But
So she says.
does not want to be some CGI'd creature.
I can respect that. I don't mind it. I think she could play a good role.
I thought,
Yeah, give her something.
yeah.
What would you cast her as?
It's going to end up being like an out of left field
It really would
kind
be.
of character.
Yeah. I think you just brought it up, though. Christian Bale's a good example of, like, he doesn't look anything like what his comic book character looks like. If you've looked up pictures of Gore the God Butcher in the comics, it's like an alien creature with no nose and things.
Yeah.
And they just let him be himself, and they just he got a bunch of makeup on him and stuff, but it's a lot better than a Mark Ruffalo suit that he's got to wear for the Hulk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could easily give her, you could still do her up, but not have to just get the little balls all over her body.
Yeah, pretty much just color them in a different
Yeah.
kind of scheme. And then,
But I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know who she would. Would she play a villain? Like, obviously, I don't.
Obviously?
Obviously.
Why obviously?
I would cast her as a villain.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
I can't think of any
Yeah, I don't
big
know if
time
she
villains
would.
though. She'd have to be some small villain for somebody.
Yeah. I don't know, unless she played like a villain in a Miss Marvel movie or something like that.
Yeah. I can see her fitting in there pretty easily.
And her quote in that could be "Good dies tonight."
But crossing over to the DC side of things, that's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, DC's
DC's a dumpster
DC's
fire.
garbage.
There's nothing
I'm sad to
going on.
say. I'm sad to say because they had. I think they could have done a really good thing with Man of Steel if they would have built their universe off of Henry Cavill's Man of Steel instead of
Yeah.
ruining it with like given him a second movie and gone that route.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't.
They're hinging everything on The Rock now. He's DC poster child.
I don't know why.
Well, it's better than Ezra Miller, I guess.
Just put it all on Batfleck.
He's done too.
He's done. No.
He's done too.
Honestly, if they were gonna put it all on something, they almost at this point their best film in the last few years has been Shazam.
I guess if you're talking like DCEU, but not just DC as a whole.
DC European Union?
DC expanded universe. So like MCU, but DCEU.
Oh, they had to add the E to make it different.
I don't know what the E stands for. I don't expanded universe, I'm pretty sure. So like the Joker doesn't fall into that. It's a DC movie, but it's not a DCEU movie.
That's kind of their pitfall, is they make some good one-offs or like little series,
Yeah.
but when they try to Marvel, they can't.
Well, that's what. Just to clarify, you were saying Shazam was their best movie. DCEU, I would agree. DC as a whole, I mean, they just had the Batman, which was a good movie.
I still need to watch that one.
Yeah. Okay. I got what you're saying now. I was confused. I was
I
confused.
don't disagree with you, but there's
Yeah.
two different categories of
Yeah,
DC movies
yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
Yes, and you do need to watch that movie. HBO Max, man.
I've got it. I just need to watch it.
It's like 3 hours long, though, so buckle up.
Which it would be hard for them to build a universe around Shazam because he's a kid. So it's like
It's a very narrow field.
yeah.
And it doesn't encapsulate all of what DC has either.
No.
They've got so much, they're just not doing anything with it.
I honestly think they need to take a break for like 5-6 years. Hit the writing rooms and write a good Martian Manhunter movie story and start with that and let him be the lead and build your universe around him. Because he's a character not many people know. And he was the head of he basically helped get the Justice League together at one point.
You can still get us a good Green Lantern movie. There's a
No.
lot of good Green Lantern content.
Get the Green Lantern out of here.
There's a lot of good storyline.
I hate the Green Lantern. I hated the comics. I just can't stand the character.
Wow.
Hal Jordan, Val Kilmer. I don't care what Green Lantern is.
Val Kilmer.
I can't remember the other one.
Yeah. They should have focused on Henry Cavill a little bit more. He
Yeah.
kind of got shafted there.
Yeah, he could have been their anchor point character to build on.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's easily the most recognizable, maybe second to Batman. But just build it off of him and then let that carry it.
Mm-hmm. And he looks so much like Superman. He's probably the second most comic book accurate Superman after Christopher Reeves from the 80s.
Different eras, yeah. Different versions, you know.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll give DC credit for, though, because it's something Marvel hasn't done. Granted, Marvel's design is not the same, so they're not going to. But, like, we've gotten to see multiple different actors in multiple different eras and generations take on different characters, Batman being the primary one of just like, okay, so we've seen an 80s version of what an 80s Batman would look like, and we've seen now a bunch of different 2000s versions, and I'm like, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Same thing with Superman. We've seen like 5 different people play Superman. Some of them good, some of them not so good, but we've only seen one version of what an Iron Man character looks like. We've only seen one version of what you know what I mean?
That's because Marvel didn't. The Marvel movies that were coming out in the 80s and 90s
Were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the DC of today.
But like what Marvel's
No,
doing
they
is they're
completely
making a movie. That movie's so good, it's affecting the comics.
Yeah.
You know, oh, because they made Iron Man in the comics just look like Robert Downey Jr. because of what Robert Downey Jr. was doing. You know, that was post the movie coming out. And they're like, let's just do that. You know, Nick Fury, we're gonna make him look like Samuel L. Jackson. Why? Because it was awesome and it worked. You know, he was a white guy in the comics.
Yeah.
Audience,
Anybody
listening?
Oh,
If you didn't know that.
Oh.
Just a little in case you didn't know, sprinkled
In case you didn't know, yeah. But there's a lot of just shame surrounding DC. Specifically Ezra Miller. Yes, I'm talking about you.
Is the whole Rock type of film, is he just like a mildly anti-hero Superman?
Yes. Yes.
That's basically
With
just
far less
depth.
charisma and depth than Henry Cavill. Yes.
And they take
And
scenes
that's
from.
tough with The Rock being such a charismatic actor.
I mean, but all he can do is stoically look into the distance. He can't act.
Well, he's a cheeseball. It's what
Yeah,
it's He's
yeah.
best
Your movie's
at
gonna make
slapstick
money.
and goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They stole scenes from Iron Man, though, the first Iron Man movie.
Oh, absolutely.
He built it in a cave.
Did you watch the trailer for the Black Adam?
I think maybe a teaser at best is all I've seen.
It's one of the most cookie cutter, boring trailers I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks good. Like, visually, it looks really, really good. But
Well,
it's just like, okay, I've seen that. Okay, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Everything they're doing in the movie, I've seen. The one scene looks straight from Thor, the first Thor movie. There's a man and a woman in a van, and he's standing on the outside of the van.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is straight from that first Thor movie. Zero creativity. Maybe it'll be good.
Doubt it.
So there was a bunch of trailers that came out. A lot of trailers. One being Wakanda Forever. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Did you watch that one?
Yes.
What'd you think of that?
I was
Oh
trying
no, it's gonna
to-
be controversial, isn't it?
When I started watching it, I was trying to figure out, wait, is this another trailer for the new Avatar movie?
Oh, no.
Oh,
It
kind of.
looked-
I could see what you're
It
saying.
looked just like the music, and then there were blue people.
There were blue
and
people.
The Wakandans riding the whales.
Those weren't Wakandans.
Oh, well, there were people riding whales, and all I was thinking was that Avatar when they're in the ocean and they're holding on to the ships, and then
The Na'vi have crossed over.
It's introducing Namor and Atlantis.
have you not watched it yet?
I haven't. A lot of these trailers, I haven't seen much anything. With
Look up the Wakanda
stuff.
trailer and watch it, and just
It looks phenomenal.
no, it looks good. I'm just saying it
Yeah.
looks exactly like the Avatar movie.
No, he's Namor, dude. Come on.
I understand who he is. I'm saying the trailer resembled Avatar.
I can see your connections. Ryan Coogler's a good director, though.
I'm not saying he's not.
I have good
Just-
faith.
It's just the visual cues are similar, is what you're getting.
And the
at.
music.
Not a
Okay.
good song.
Watch the trailer, Colin, and then you.
I'll watch the two trailers back to back and see
Yes.
which one, if it looks the same or not.
I'm excited for it. But I was also really excited for Thor, and then I got slapped across the face.
It's been a lot of disappointment lately
Yeah.
with films.
So hopefully it's
I'll
good.
touch on that later with another big one that came
I
out.
remember like a year and a half. Well, how long has Chadwick Boseman been dead for now? Was it 2019? I think it was 2019.
He died in 2020.
Did he?
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, it was early.
And I remember seeing articles and interviews with Ryan Coogler. Like, obviously, they were already starting to make the next movie. Nobody knew he was sick, let alone that he was about to pass. And him just like working on the script, and he said he'd have to walk away from it because he'd just be crying too much. Like, he didn't even know how he was going to make this movie, let alone. And then think about the entire cast coming back and trying to make this movie without him. And not just because he was the best choice for that role, which he absolutely was, but it's just like, man, that's just gotta be so sad.
Have you seen the interview with him before
Yeah.
that interview?
Yeah.
Watching
is-
that now, I'm just like, oh.
Do you know what he's talking about?
No.
Because there's like a woman interviewing him right after.
Black Panther.
It was either Black Panther 1 or one of those Avenger movies.
Yeah.
One of them. And she said, everybody's excited for Black Panther 2. And he goes, no. She's like, so you'll be back to reprise the role? And he goes, no, I'm dead. And she's just like, ha ha ha, no, your character's still alive. And he's like, no, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. He literally said that.
That's scary.
It's terrifying.
Does it cry? Like, he's so straight faced that
He was such a strong human being. Like,
he's my hero.
he's legitimately one of my heroes because just the ability to not make his own life about himself to the point that he didn't even tell anybody he was sick and that he was dying.
Like my hair's still on end right now.
Isn't that's so sad?
That's so sad, but so scary to just be like, no, I'm dead.
He's like, no,
Like,
I'm
I'm
I'll
not
be
in
dead.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he actually, that's messed up.
R.I.P. You are missed, sir. Anyways, so the Black Panther trailer, which is supposed to introduced a lot. You definitely get Namor. There is another Black Panther. It's not like there's not. Someone's in the suit at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
But who it'll be, we don't know.
Yeah. I saw Martin Freeman's back though. I love Martin Freeman.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, he just fits perfectly into those movies.
Yeah.
Did they get his sister in the shots, or was she not as present?
No, she was in the shots.
She's in there quite a bit.
Okay,
She's in there quite a bit.
It's not like they're teasing that she took the mantle kind of thing.
They don't really tease who it is.
They show somebody in a Black Panther suit though.
Well, yeah. But
Right.
you can't, and it's really dark, so you can't tell if it's who it is. My guess is it's her. It's either
That makes
her
the
or it was
most
his
sense.
girlfriend. I don't
I
remember
thought it
her
was some
name.
other guy in the Black Panther suit.
I mean, it could be.
The trailer. I thought I saw a guy in it. Like he actually had the suit on.
There was a person with a suit on.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's a man or a woman under the mask.
No, he didn't have the mask on.
But you don't see the face.
Yes, you did. Did you watch the same trailer I watched? We're gonna watch the trailer after this, and we'll.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure there's nobody in the suit.
Just undead Michael B. Jordan and bring him back.
Undead him.
Undead him.
He just crawls out of wherever he died in.
Yeah, just let him come back. Let him be it.
We'll watch it.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
watch
watch
it. Because I don't think that's accurate, but. What else? We did get a Shazam Fear of the
Yes.
Gods trailer.
Yes.
You were talking about
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. It's just- I guess
Such a glowing endorsement.
Yeah.
Just gassing it up. And
I like
then
Zachary Levi
tank
as that character. He plays. I mean, he's a grown man, has to act as a kid because he is a kid. So he plays it well. It's just whether the story or not is.
There's a dragon in it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I was meh about the first one, so this one I'm just kind of like meh about as well. Eminem must be his theme.
Yeah,
Eminem's in both of the movies. I don't remember anything else shining. Oh, the only other thing that stuck out to me during that trailer was like he's talking to a therapist. He's like, I don't want to be a superhero. There's all kinds of other superheroes. And he references Batman and he references a couple of the characters. And he references the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we talking about the Flash?
Just need to put him in a dark corner and
Just let it go away.
let him disappear.
maybe they're gonna have some comedic thing in the movie where they're like, you don't want to be like the Flash.
That
You can't in-world make the Flash crazy.
No, what you do is you have them like pass by a TV in like a pawn shop or something. You see a news clip of they caught the Flash, and just have that be like a passing little nugget in there.
I just don't see how DC as a whole can still endorse this guy.
They have no standards.
They don't have to murder the character. Just they could just ghost recast him,
Yeah,
Don Cheadle him, and just not say anything.
put Don Cheadle as the
Just put
Flash.
Don Cheadle him.
I don't
Let him
think
come
anyone
back.
would have a problem with that.
No, that'd be great.
I'm interested to see what DC is going to do with that whole debacle.
Yeah.
Because they done wrote out Amber Heard.
Just bring what's his name over from DC or from
from the show.
the show.
CW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grant Gustin.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be probably the most seamless,
Mm-hmm.
and just
But there's a
don't
movie-
make a big deal about it.
There's
Yeah.
a movie already made. You can't just get
CGI
rid of-
his
you
face.
can't.
Yeah.
Call it good.
Just deep fake him in there.
He plays two different characters in that movie.
Let him play a third.
That's funny. I don't care personally, but I found it interesting that they intentionally put that clip in. You could have taken that out of that Shazam trailer very easily, but they left it in.
Oh well.
It looks good. Visually, it's a good-looking movie. Very much like the Black Adam, though.
Yeah.
Stylistically, they're
Yeah.
almost the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do look a lot alike.
I wonder if they'll fight each other at some point. I think they are like.
With in-world. Well, obviously,
Yeah.
they're all in the same world.
Yeah.
I want to see all and Superman, the three of them fight each other. Or just hold hands. and go up in the sky and go in a circle. Because they can all fly. They're the exact same character. They're all the exact same character.
Yeah. They kind of boil down to maybe subtle differences in powers, but very subtle. And then just different backgrounds, mostly.
Shazam's stronger than Superman then.
How?
Because he doesn't have any weaknesses.
That is true. They would have the upper hand. They could just wear kryptonite. And then
They
just
could literally
beat
wear
down
a
Superman.
kryptonite suit and Superman's null. That 13-year-old boy could kill
He's got to have some
Superman.
weakness. I mean, his weakness would be he is a 13-year-old boy and doesn't know how to use his powers very well in fight. That would be his weakness.
But surely by the second movie, he knows how to use his powers.
He's still a child.
Yeah,
Have you
when
seen kids learn to play the guitar?
if you just get down to like combat tactics and fighting skills, Superman would be legions above. Black Adam, I don't know,
But if that 13-year-old boy, which he already would already know that his weakness is kryptonite, that's a commonly known thing. All he would have to do is hold a chunk, and he would be fine.
how's he gonna get it? Will he know how to network his way into some kryptonite?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're deep into this. Though. We're deep into this. Off of the back of Shazam. Which one are you talking about next?
We can do the Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
How? What?
I'm not excited about.
You're not
this.
feeling it.
I'm not. No. I want to be, but I feel like it's just gonna be a letdown, like the Hobbit movies, and
Is it a movie or is it
it's a series.
TV series?
Amazon
series.
Series, yeah.
And that's out now?
No.
Nice.
It's
September
just another
2nd.
trailer.
Oh, it was another trailer.
Yeah.
September it comes out?
September 2nd. Yeah.
We should get together and do a viewing of one of the old ones. We should do a commentary on one of the original trilogy before any of us watch the new
I'm fine
show.
with that. Which one?
I'm excited about it.
Well, we need to do. We're gonna have to do
I
that.
think Amazon does watch parties on Prime Video now.
Oh, do they really?
I think I saw that feature on there.
That'd be cool.
So we could like all. How does that work though? Like,
What it would basically do, if I understand it correctly, is we could each be in our own location, but it'll sync the video
okay.
so we can watch it in real time
In tandem.
and yeah, at the same time.
Okay.
So then no matter if you start it, it'll still play back on everybody's end the same.
Okay.
I think it could work. It looks like a Lord of the Rings movie. Whereas the Hobbit trilogy did not. So as long as it has interesting characters and an intriguing story, it's going to feel like a Lord of the Rings movie.
I don't know. I don't know.
We're really like, we should have had like a whiteboard to see where we fall on these movies and then see how they actually are. Because you and I are polar opposites on almost all of them.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
You lean one way, I lean the other way. Which is fine. I think it looks intriguing.
Because it all takes place before the rings are made.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like hundreds of years back, prequel.
Yeah.
Is it about the ring? It's about the rings being made, though,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Why they made them and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And I feel like that's compelling story enough.
I mean, I'm not
run
saying
off
it.
of.
Just the trailer just doesn't look. I don't know.
Is it just the shot style and the way it's presented visually?
I don't know.
I
honestly don't know what it is.
It looks like Return of the Kings, though. Like it looks like a Lord of the Rings movie.
I don't know.
And the orcs look awesome. They look great.
I just hope it's not. I just hope they don't overdo it like they did with. The
I
Hobbit.
know. I get it. I get it. You're holding back because you don't want to be hurt again.
It could be nostalgia bias against it because you hold the originals in such a high regard
And
that anything else is an affront, and then this, twice removed is just an abomination in a way.
Could be.
Plus, it's not even a. Plus, the story. I don't even think Amazon got the rights to it, so it's not even an actual Lord of the Rings tale. It's not a Middle Earth. It's not. It does, I don't think it has. Other than the fact that it's Middle Earth, I don't know if they have any rights to any of the Tolkien books because his kids, the grandkids, don't want anyone else to make any more stuff on it.
So it's not canon?
Right.
It's called The Lord of the Rings.
They got naming rights.
They
and
must
that's
have.
it?
They must have got naming rights, but they don't have.
I don't see how that's possible.
That would be hard to believe that they could get the naming rights without the story.
The main character is the old Kate Blanchett's character from
Yes.
the movies.
Yes.
That's the main character of the show.
Okay. I'm just saying. I heard that they didn't have.
We're gonna look. There's so much homework. We have so much homework on this episode. What was your homework?
I gotta watch Batman.
I'll look into this. You're gonna get some homework before this is over.
Okay.
Because I'm interested to know if that's true. Because if that's true, this could be whatever.
It could be utter garbage.
Yeah, if they
It
don't
could be.
have the canon story, then I'm not excited.
Because
about
I
this
did
at
hear
all.
that like nobody from the original trilogy wants anything to do with this. Like I've heard that they're all like, no, I'm not even going to comment on it. I don't care. They want to get as far away from it as they can. That could very well be why.
Yeah, if that's why, then 100%.
Or
I'm
it could
not
just
about
be
this.
they saw how the Hobbit trilogy went and just feel disrespected. Because that Hobbit trilogy was bad.
No, it was.
What?
It was bad. No, I don't disagree.
So
Like those
anyway,
Indiana-isms. Yeah, no, yeah.
we'll see. Did you watch the Dungeons and Dragons trailer?
I did.
What'd you think of that?
It looked interesting. Like I'm just.
What are they doing? How does this make sense?
It looks like they.
Is it like Jumanji and they make an actual game?
It's a real life world.
It's just the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and they're kind of like, remember Battleship, that movie they made?
Okay.
And you remember how when the missiles were firing and they were the actual like battleship pegs?
I didn't know that.
Oh yes, they did.
They were the
Battleship,
actual
or
pegs.
like they just recently made the World of Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
A lot like that.
That just seems strange. From what little I know about that game, it's rewritten every game.
Right.
To a certain extent. There's
so it-
some stuff that's like is a through line element.
So it looks like they
the
have
characters.
they're playing it. It's going to be a movie like they're playing a game of D&D. And their characters have special abilities and stuff. And Chris Pine is
Chris Pine's in it, yeah.
the
Okay.
dungeon master. Is that what they call him?
Yeah,
no
the
idea.
one who writes the story.
Yeah,
essentially.
he's the one that is like in control of it. But it's gonna like,
But it looked just like a movie though. It didn't look like
no. But I'm saying they're taking that the way the game is played and they just made it into a movie. They just took like a quest and made it into a
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it could
So it's
work.
just it's its own story.
And it's gonna be a comedy.
But it's set in the Dungeons and Dragons world.
Yeah,
I think it looks entertaining.
it'll probably be fine. I'll watch it.
It just seems weird to attach Dungeons and Dragons as the name when it's basically just like a medieval
Yes.
and magic kind of tale.
Yeah.
Yes. Except
then
there's
they
a
just-
woman who turns into a giant owl bear.
Yeah.
And it looked awesome.
So we had what was it? Bear pigs or bear hogs last week, and now we got owl bears this week.
It's poop.
Winnie the
Winnie the
Poomba.
Winnie the Poomba.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm excited for it. Sure. Fine. Whatever.
Why not?
What else did you see?
I Am Groot.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
That looks entertaining.
Yeah, it does. I thought it was gonna be more of a cartoon series, and
Yeah.
that it's actually just a CGI.
It's just Baby Groot doing Baby Groot stuff. Like he just finds a colony of tiny little cute creatures that want to eat him. But then they realize that he's like, oh, he produces leaves and they can just eat the leaves. So he just like
I'm
feeds them
gonna
leaves.
tell you right now. I thought he farted the leaf out, and they were eating his leaf farts. That's what I thought happened.
Basically eating his poop.
Yes.
Well, he can definitely just grow leaves at random. So I don't think that's the case.
No, it looks good.
It looks cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It is what it is.
And those were going to be real short format, right?
I think they're short. Yeah,
Like
they're
5,
just
10
shorts.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not an actual show.
Yeah.
You can't make a show out of that.
No, in that context, sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I watched the John Wick 4 trailer.
You've never seen it.
I've not seen any of them, so I don't.
I told you to watch it figuring that you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they're making another one.
I know. Neither did I until
I think I
saw the
watched
trailer.
the first two.
And this one's got Skarsgård. But I don't
Nathan?
remember. I don't,
Stanley.
Stellan?
No, that's the dad. It's the one from the It movies, but I don't remember his first name.
Oh, it's not Peter, is it?
No, that's one of the older ones.
Older ones.
Peter, Alexander.
There's a handful of them.
There's
I
a
didn't
bunch of
realize
them.
there was that many of them.
Jeez.
But he's in it as one of the main villains. But he just looks like himself. But
He's
he
a
still
very
looks like
creepy
Pennywise.
guy, yeah. Yeah, they didn't have to do a lot to make him scary.
He's a creepy looking individual. You should watch that first one.
I know. Everyone says they're great.
Even just the first one. It took me a long time to watch them too. Yeah. I watched number 1 and number 2. I didn't like number 2 as much, but the first one was good.
Yeah.
The third one's supposed to be even better. So sure.
Let's pray.
Prey is that
No, I said let's pray.
Prey.
Yeah.
That's the Predator sequel.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Predator and Prey, but it's a Predator sequel.
I didn't watch that trailer. I didn't see that one. You didn't
The Prey one?
Yeah, you didn't send me
Oh,
that
I'm
one.
sorry. That's okay.
So I was like, what is this?
Have you seen any of the Predator movies?
No.
What's the most recent one?
Oh, it came out like
Those are
a
80s.
year and a half ago. Because it had Key in it. Michael Key.
Oh, really?
It had a bunch of... It's a bad movie. It's a really bad movie.
You mean Michael Keaton?
No, like Key and Peele? Like...
Michael Keegan Peele?
Keegan.
Is it Keegan Michael Key?
Keegan Michael Key. Thank you. I knew his Michael was in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's his middle name.
What's Peele's full
Jordan.
name? Jordan Peele, that's right. Yeah.
But it had him in it. It had a bunch of people in it. And it was like all an allegory for autism and how they had superpower. It was bad. There's only really 2 good Predator movies, though. It was the first one, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, the original one. Mm-hmm. And then the one that came out with Adrian Brody in like 2017 or 2018. Those were good movies.
I'm thinking of the Alien series, like the Prometheus and those.
Yeah, those are all Alien movies. But this one's cool because it's like a prequel to the original. So in the original one, you had like Commandos. So it had Arnold Schwarzenegger and it had a bunch of big muscle men in it fighting giant creatures. This one goes back to like Indian days. So it's like these Indians
like Native
fighting
American type.
Yeah, African Americans fighting a lesser version of what the very first one was.
That's cool.
Apparently, it's phenomenal. So, but that's on Hulu, and I don't have Hulu, unfortunately.
I don't either.
Yeah, I think I saw the trailer for that one. It did look pretty solid.
Doesn't it though? That's an interesting premise. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I thought about canceling HBO Max and grabbing Hulu
Oh, you should.
because then I could just grab
Absolutely.
Either that or I may have to grab Paramount once.
I have
season.
Paramount.
Oh, you have Paramount?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got HBO Max.
Oh.
So
If
just
you
share
get-
it.
If you get Hulu, the only one that none of us have is Apple, and there's a few things on
I'm
Apple
pretty
that
sure
I
I've
really
got
want
it.
to watch.
Who?
I think I have it, or like at least a 3-month for free thing
Do you?
that I haven't used yet.
I'm just saying. I thought about canceling something so I could get Apple, but
Yeah, I'll look into it because I think since I bought a couple Apple products, they all come with some sort of software.
if you set it up, let me know because there's a few things
subscription
I'd like to
thing.
check out.
Yeah, I'll see if I've got one and if I can just give you the code for it or something.
Either way. Otherwise, you may have to start something else so I can cancel something so I can get Apple. I have Paramount, but there's not a ton of stuff on it.
There's not. I was gonna cancel HBO Max and then look at picking up Paramount unless you still have it.
What, Paramount? No, I'm keeping. I'll keep it.
Just
for now,
because
so
Yellowstone in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
It's so stupid when it comes out now on regular time TV, it's going to release on there every week. But then once the season's over, it's going to go straight to Peacock.
Really?
Yeah,
That's weird.
what they did with the last season.
That's so dumb.
But
I don't have Peacock either. They're gonna cancel all of ours now. All the streaming services are gonna cancel all of ours because we're all sharing.
Yeah,
if you
They'll
want
find
Peacock
out.
at all, I have it. I can give you my information.
Peacock's
Okay.
got a little bit of stuff on it.
Yeah.
Not a ton
No, Mariah, I only got it because for The Office.
for The Office.
Yeah.
They have some movies on it, but not very many.
Yeah, I barely use
But it's so cheap.
any of that kind of stuff at this point.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get myself into HBO Max just to watch some movies.
HBO Max is nice because it's attached to Warner Brothers, and they release a lot of movies. So after
They-
like the 45-day window, it all goes straight to HBO Max, which is really convenient.
Mm-hmm. And they do seem to cycle stuff in and out.
It's one of the best, I think, right now. I really do.
And I think they had, and I mean, I've had it for a little over a year now, and they've got one of the best like horror movie lineups. I think for the Hollow. Like,
They do have a pretty solid
for
amount
one
on
come
there.
October, they have a huge, nice, decent group of movies.
Speaking of that, and I don't think I sent this one to you either, but they actually released a trailer for Halloween Ends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I watched that one. I meant to send it to you. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I failed.
That movie just looks so dumb.
It should have died a long time ago.
Tell us how you really feel.
It's one of those
I hated
scenarios.
the last one.
It was bad.
And
I just hate this one on principle.
think about another franchise that did this very same thing where Jurassic World's a good example too, where you made a filler movie in the middle for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, they made the remake of Halloween, which was fine. The first one was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to make Halloween Ends, the one they're about to make. But they just felt like they had to throw another one in the middle because a trilogy is a thing and you have to do a trilogy for some reason. But it's utter garbage and borderline makes us not want to watch the next one.
It definitely makes me not want to watch the next one.
I don't want to watch it. Where do you go from the end of that last one?
So we can agree we're not going to go watch it?
No, we are going to go watch
Don't
it.
ask
Okay.
me.
That's what I meant to say.
But I don't know. This crosses into a whole nother territory of like, is there any value in any of these movies anyway? Horror movies specifically, like,
I mean, no.
especially from a Christian perspective. Is there any value in any of these movies?
I don't know.
We're going to watch it obviously because we operate a YouTube channel that watches movies and we're going to tell you, hey, don't watch this movie.
Well, you could look at horror in the same vein as thriller. What's the point of a thriller? Adrenaline rush, kind of get you on the edge of your seat. A horror movie, it's to get scared, adrenaline rush on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, but Halloween's not scary.
But at the same time, there's
but
like
horror as an entire genre. Is what I'm talking about.
most thrillers have a plot and have a story and could still have like positive messages and different things, even though it's like tense. Horror movies, especially horror movies today, is just a glorification of just depravity.
It's more diamond in the rough as a whole than most genres to find one that's good.
Well, that's true.
That doesn't just fall into hedonistic stuff or slashers, because those both suck. They're just garbage.
It's just a waste of time.
But a good like cerebral horror movie where it's you don't see what exactly is causing it, but it just builds that tension
Like a
and
Conjuring.
that fear. Yeah, like The Conjuring. Those are good ones. I think those have value. Hereditary, no.
No. Did you watch that one?
Yes, Austin and I went and saw
Trash
it
movie.
in theaters, and we were both when we walked out, we were like, "That was just terrible.
So bad.
That was so garbage."
Man. Unfortunate.
I think when we watched that at your house, I think both of us were thinking the same thing. I wanted to turn and be like, I don't want to finish this.
Yeah. And I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to say it to you.
Yeah.
And we could have easily turned it off and watched something so much better.
It's,
But it
once it hits that midpoint where it shifts, that's like, get me out of this.
Yes,
This is
absolutely.
terrible.
Yeah.
But it even crosses into other things. You sent us that article about 50 Cent and the movie that he's making. I didn't even know he was making a horror movie.
I had no idea.
But it is they're praising it right now as being so intensely gory and just disgusting that a cameraman passed out because of it on set. Like, if your cameramen are passing out, what kind of movie are you making?
Yeah, they described it as being so lifelike and realistic and so just intensely vile. And that's what put it together to make the guy pass out.
Is 50 Cent like biting bats in the movie?
It's probably just the special effects are practical and they're very convincing, and just somebody with a weak constitution saw it.
I do wonder though how much of it is just like
He's got a blood phobia.
them even playing it up a little bit to be like
Oh yeah, it's a
publicity stunt kind of stuff. You
great
know?
headline to build some hype.
Back when the Joker was coming out and they're like, this is the worst movie ever. This is gonna make crazy people even crazier. And then you watch it and you're like, it wasn't that bad.
It's just clickbait
Yeah, it's clickbait.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to draw straws and see which one of us has to go watch the 50 Cent horror movie.
I'm not.
I'll bite that bullet.
I was gonna say I vote Colin. I mean, I'll go with. I don't. Maybe after we can go to Steak and Shake. I don't know.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I'm gonna go eat a lot of pasta first.
Don't sit in front of me.
Were there any other?
There was one more trailer we didn't talk about.
Which one?
The She-Hulk one.
She-Hulk. That's correct. They got a second trailer. What did you think of the second trailer?
I'm utterly disgusted by this series. It's going to be.
It's such a strong stance.
Look, listen.
Disgusted by this series.
It is
Go ahead.
going to be sexually repulsive. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
They're already like blurring
She-Hulk's
out,
for the streets is what we're saying.
blurring out stuff. She's green on top of some dude on the couch in the trailer. This is what is shown in the trailer. Now, with that being said, I
There's
will.
still a green band.
Huh?
It is a Green Band trailer. Yes.
I guess it has to be because she is.
That's good. That's good. Clever.
I will say the end of the trailer got me a little excited. I was like,
Well, let me share my thoughts first before you do the spoilers.
all right.
Because I am, after this trailer, leaning the other direction. This one got me far more interested in it than the first one did. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know what it is about Marvel being like, hey, we're going to be edgy. Because there's like a scene where she's falling off a cliff because he pushed her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's going to be fine. She's the Hulk. But she like flips him off as she's falling.
Yeah.
And they blur it out. Just like they did with Chris Hemsworth's bare butt in Thor. Like, why are you putting this in your advertising? That's not drawing us in. Whoever's doing their advertising now sucks, because why do you think that that's what we're like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to get in our Disney Plus series now? Who cares?
Yeah, it's like the only one that can pull that stuff off is Deadpool, because their edgy humor is actually edgy humor.
And it looked like she's talking to the camera the whole time. Like, do you know, there was a couple scenes where like they turn.
She breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, just like Deadpool.
She does in the comics.
Oh, does she?
She's one of the other characters like Deadpool.
I
that
don't
breaks
care.
the
I don't
fourth
care
wall.
for that. I don't care for that.
Just dismiss. I don't care.
It's like,
Don't tell me.
ah!
I don't want to hear any other opinions.
Yeah.
This is it.
Whatever. I don't care about that.
It just makes me even less excited for this.
What
I
I'm
am
most
going
excited
to-
about
Oh, go ahead.
is
I'm gonna have to edit you turning green.
she
Sulking out.
she is a lawyer who's supposed to go and advocate for supers.
Defend them. Yeah.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And there looks like there's a ton of super people in this show. Like, it's just becoming commonplace that you have powers. And there's a ton of powered people in this show. And we get to see Tim Roth come back as Abomination. And I'm super excited about that as well.
That is nice.
Yeah, that was cool. You
So-
know who else is a great lawyer in New York City?
Yes. Go ahead. You've been waiting patiently.
Daredevil. He's a great lawyer.
He came in at the end of
and
the
he comes in
trailer
at the end of the trailer.
Okay.
in a really sick costume.
Yeah. So
He's going to be reimagined for sure from
Yeah.
what the Netflix series gave him. They're tonally taking him in a different direction. I'm excited just for that alone.
that's the only thing that makes me excited. I will still rip every episode of this series apart week by week.
I'm super sad that it comes out on my birthday.
Well, you should be.
That upsets me a little bit. But I'm interested to see what the story's going to be. I hope they don't go too overboard with the sexual stuff. It's been pretty heavy in the trailers for a reason that I cannot understand. And her CGI is still not great. But,
I don't like it.
big but, it might be okay.
It won't. I promise you this. It's going to be terrible.
That'll probably be a situation of the supporting characters steal the show.
Probably,
And then
yeah.
Tim Roth and Daredevil are the only two that make it worth anything.
We should come up with some sort of special rating system for every episode of the show.
Okay.
Just for this show. and we can come on here every week and just be like, oh, yeah, that episode was.
How many piles of garbage in the landfill?
I got nothing else. I'm trying to think of another one.
I like that.
Gosh.
I give
So low.
3 bags of trash on this one.
Yeah, for sure, though. A lot of trailers. A lot of trailers coming out. I can't think of any of the other ones that I've seen.
Oh.
Never go. Did you see that trailer?
I did
for
watch
the
that,
National
yes.
Treasures. It was
Yes.
more of a teaser. It was real short.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel that they're not bringing Nicolas Cage back for this.
So it's got the other guy in it, though. It's got Riley.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's the main guy now.
So is the little girl like Nicolas Cage's daughter?
I sure hope not. What little girl?
There was a little girl. There was a girl on there, a child that was talking, right?
Maybe I saw a different trailer than you did. Because it just
It's
had
been a tale of 2 trailers today.
the trailer that I seen just had one woman in it.
Was it a woman? Maybe it was a woman, and I thought she was a little girl. I don't know.
See, it seems like we're both watching the same thing, but we're seeing different stuff. I don't know. Whatever. If they don't bring Nicolas Cage back, though, shame.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Probably can't afford him at this
He'll do
point.
anything.
Yeah. He's got so much debt.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because he bought dinosaur eggs and all kinds of stuff.
So I thought he sold all the bonds and things he had.
Had to feed his comic habit.
Oh, is that the new
He's a
Vice?
huge comic book fan.
I mean, he named his son Kal-El.
Oh. He is that crazy.
Yeah, he's out there.
Let's be glad he didn't name him Ezra. Hey-ho.
Oh, he didn't name him Flash, Ezra Miller. Man, where is that guy? Anyway. Bill Murray, he's going to be in something.
Is it Creed 3?
No, that was an interesting segue, but no.
It was like a left hook out of nowhere. Didn't see that.
I think it's a Marvel movie.
Okay.
I think it's Guardians 3. I think he's going to be in it.
That just makes sense.
Why not?
He should be in Marvel Zombies.
But you know who was in
No.
Guardians 2? Sylvester Stallone.
There's the
segue. But no, I was just reading this article and I wanted to talk about it for a minute because I thought it was interesting that like Sylvester Stallone is not going to be in Creed 3, which is being directed by Michael B. Jordan, starring Michael B. Jordan, still about his character. But I really thought it was interesting reading the article that Sylvester Stallone was talking about reading the script and looking at it and still operating under the assumption he was going to be in it. But upon reading it, he's like, there is no place for Rocky in this movie. And then him just going to the writers and being like, no, it is okay. Let's keep Rocky out of this movie. And the article was talking about how the franchise is doing so well because it's all been handled so tastefully up to this point, and how this could be a mark that Creed 3 is still going to be really good.
Yeah.
Because everyone's looking at the story and the characters and what's going to benefit it the most. You know what I mean? And understanding that they can't always live under the shadow of a Rocky. And it's got to move past that, and it's got to grow, and it's got to evolve into something else. And I was like, that seems like such an honorable way to go about a franchise.
Yeah, especially when you're extending, a very old one at this point,
Yeah.
to handle it with a lot of respect to the source and
Yeah.
not just cash grab and just make what you could make off it and run.
Yeah.
He's kind of handing the belt over.
It's so cool, and I think it's been done so well. And Creed 1 and 2, I think are really, really good movies.
I think Creed 2 is. I didn't care for the first one that much, but
Can't have Creed 2 without Creed 1. Anyways,
but Rocky 3 is considered Rocky's best movie. That's when he fights Clubber.
ooh, that's interesting.
So we'll see where Creed 3 goes. I thought it'd be interesting is if they fought. So in Rocky 4,
Did you say Threed? Sorry.
And that's so in Rocky 5, which is the worst Rocky movie, he trains that one kid. I could see them maybe bringing his son or something into it where he's a fighter and fights.
Whose son?
That kid from Rocky, that guy from Rocky 5. If they're going to go that route of continue, like, keeping the...
He's just fighting all the sons of the people Rocky fought.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, what is his name?
That's not uncommon in actual boxing. There's a lot of sons of former greats that are out there doing it right now.
The guy who plays Kang in the Loki series.
Okay.
I don't remember what his name is. I know he's in it, and he plays a boxer.
Okay.
Because I saw a set photo of him, and he's jacked out of his mind. He was huge. He was a monster. But
It just made me think of that Peter Dinklage from Elf. I'm psyched out of my mind.
So are they going to write it? I wonder if they're going to write Rocky out. If he's not in it, then they have to write that his character died.
maybe not.
Why does he have to die if he's not in it?
Rocky 2 really did a good job of just capping off his character by reuniting him with his son, getting to meet his grandson, and like moving into the next stage of his life as Rocky Balboa. So you could easily just say, okay, well, Rock's... What did I say?
You said Rocky 2.
Creed 2. Sorry, that's what I meant. I wonder why you were looking at me like I was an idiot when I knew you would probably agree with my point I was making.
Yeah.
That they gave him a really, really nice send-off. You don't think so?
No, I'm not saying they did or didn't. He trained Creed. Like, that's his... It would be... I think they need to kill him off. They'd be like, he dies and...
But that's still making the movie about Rocky then.
That is stealing some thunder.
If you're just like, no, he's retired and he's living with his family now.
Like a Rocky funeral scene in it. Just to have that in there.
No, they don't even have to have a funeral scene. Just maybe...
Why not just let him be an old man?
Because he has cancer.
He beat it.
Allegedly.
You're just gonna slander his name like that.
Allegedly?
That was the biggest fight of his life, and he overcame that too.
He beat everyone, even cancer.
He got knocked down, but he got back up.
I was going to make a Chuck Norris joke. I'm excited about it because I do think that Creed 2 is one of the best movies ever made. Mm-hmm. I really think it's one of, just from every standpoint, from a story to acting to characters to cinematography to all of it, I think it is a near perfect movie.
Yeah, it's good.
So to go off the back of that, I think is really cool. And to give Michael B. Jordan the platform to now direct, I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. What else?
What you guys been watching?
Just finished up Yellowstone. Yeah.
They do like mid-season breaks, or is it just the end of the season?
We just went back through the series. What was out?
Just rewatching it.
Yeah, the 4 seasons. So, I did see one thing interesting. I was going to ask. So there was a debate going on. So now moving forward after the Obi-Wan series, do they go back? Is the Force Ghost? Should they make the Force Ghost Ewan McGregor or keep it Sir Alec Guinness?
I'd say go with the OG because that makes the most sense, canon-wise.
My leg was hurt. I'm sorry.
I thought you were just staunchly disagreeing.
I was trying to be as aggressively mad as he was about She-Hulk, but it wasn't working. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, to me, it doesn't matter. What I really, really want is Alec Guinness there as a Force Ghost, and then Ewan McGregor there as a Force Ghost as well, with his arm around him.
That would just be disturbing and unnecessary.
But that's how in tune with the Force is. He can come back at any point from his life.
So, Kenobi in the multiverse.
No, I don't. It doesn't matter to me. Alec Guinness makes the most sense. I mean, he didn't die until he was an old man.
Okay.
They only did that with Anakin, I think, because nobody wanted to see Old Man Vader as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, in that case, it makes sense to put in Anakin. Just because you just have a corpse looking. Crusty
Just a Force
creature.
corpse. They don't even call it a corpse. He still just wheezes.
He's still dead in the afterlife. We couldn't get him. Force corpse. He's still dead.
No, he's in a Darth Vader costume, but it's white instead of black.
That'd probably look really cool.
Another thing, you'll care about this more than he will. They greenlit an Aragon series at Disney Plus.
Nice.
Nice. We were waiting.
Why would
Who's
he care about
behind
that
it?
more than I?
He read the books.
I did too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Why
Oh, my apologies.
That's
Yeah, I
exciting.
know it was real big.
That was
were
something
reading
we
them at
talked
same
about all the
and going
time.
through them.
Yeah.
I read them like after. It was like when you were in the military. I read them.
Golly.
Oh, okay. We grew up with their.
Yeah.
We grew up with Aragon. Yeah. Yeah. We were waiting for the books to release is
Yeah.
what we were doing.
Yeah, it's good. They're good books. I like them.
They're really good books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lot of source material to
Oh,
pull
my
some
goodness.
good stories out of.
I would have loved to seen like Amazon get their hands on that
Yeah.
and do that instead of a Lord of the Rings series with that much money. It's like $6 million they put in that series.
Jeez.
Amazon did.
You mean Disney? Oh, the
I'm talking about the Lord of the Rings
all
thing.
right. That's cool. So when is that set to release? You know?
And they just greenlit
Okay.
it, so who knows? But Christopher Paolini is actually going to be involved in it this time. He wasn't last time.
You could tell he
Which was a huge
had
bummer.
no handle on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
And they
movie,
did whatever
that
they
movie's
want.
rough.
it was bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Braum was about the only redeeming thing for that movie. There's the guy who acted him.
Oh,
Jeremy
Jeremy
Irons.
Irons. Yeah. There were pieces of it. There were nuggets that were there, but the rest of it was just like, you guys just
You
went
just
the lazy
can't
way.
pack way. That's way too much to pack into one.
So
Short
I saw that today.
So that is exciting.
But he had the author had a bunch of people on Instagram and Twitter just signing petitions trying to get Disney to, because Fox owned it. Fox is who made the Aragon movie.
Okay.
So once Fox got sold to Disney, Christopher Paolini got super excited that now Disney's going to be the one to pick up and make a movie, or they're making a series, but make a movie or a series. So
That's cool.
as soon as Disney got the rights, he had everybody doing petitions. He's like, guys, let's get this going. And then Disney said, we're not going to do it right now. They had a lot of Marvel projects going on. And then just today, they're like, yeah, we're going to do it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
What else have you been watching?
I watched the first Cloverfield.
Oh,
Just had been a while since I had seen it. And after watching it, I started looking up kind of like found footage and handy cam stuff and went down a little rabbit hole and found some oddball trivia about the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity.
oh, geez.
The budgets for those movies,
Super low.
$15,000 for Paranormal Activity. The guy wrote, directed, shot, filmed in his own house, and edited the movie. And they made like almost $200 million off of it. And it started Blumhouse off of that movie because they made so much. And then Blair Witch was like $243 million they made off of that, and it cost $22,000.
That's why low budget horror
Unbelievable.
movies are some of the most lucrative movies that you can make today,
Oh, we need to do that.
because it's so
Have the
so
technology.
cheap to make.
Yeah,
That's insane. 15 grand, which 15 grand is still a lot of money.
yeah.
But to turn and profit over $150,000,
Yeah, and then pull multiple 100 million.
yeah. But then the problem is you make another one, you do the same thing, you make another one, you do the same thing, and then you're on Paranormal Activity 7,
10.
and you're just like, okay, now you should have gone and done something else,
That's about the only thing that guy's done is Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. Just stop
And it's pushing 10 movies. And they all pretty much bomb after the first one.
That first one I remember.
Those two actors only got paid $500. $500 to act in that movie.
That's funny.
I think it was shot in like 3 days or something. Like mostly practical effects.
He made that movie in his house.
It was his house. Yeah.
Imagine having to live there after you make that movie in your house.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't scared because he also knew that He was pulling a string over here that was making that curtain over there move. Like,
Yeah, he designed all that.
Until the one time that he doesn't pull the string and it moves on its own.
until the one
That's
time
real
the sheets
sketchy.
rip themselves off the bed.
Yeah. I watched that one. I watched one called Last Night in Soho.
You watched that movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
How was it?
Which Edgar Wright directed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer for it or like a movie poster when we went and saw Halloween.
Okay. I'd never seen it.
It was pretty solid.
Is that on HBO Max? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting concept of that kind of like time traveling, flipping between modern day and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the story was pretty good. There was a twist that came that I didn't expect.
Okay.
And the way it was shot and like the coloring and everything was really cool.
Well, how was the content in that?
There was a fair amount of
I
language,
figured.
sexual content, nothing like very forward.
Oh.
There was some subtle and some implied, and then kind of not the focus of the shot, but kind of in the back, but like no nudity. In
Oh,
it.
okay. I always thought Vera might enjoy that one.
She might if she likes those kind of like wild visually ones. It's not super wild visually, but it's interesting.
Cool.
And then the heavy hitter that failed me was Nope.
You went and seen it?
I went and saw it Saturday morning. I took Mason.
Oh,
We went and saw it.
bad.
I don't know what the runtime is, but it felt like 3 hours.
No.
The pacing was bad.
Was it?
It was slow. And I don't even think you can call it a horror movie. There was no scares. Nothing.
Sci-fi movie?
Basically just like a sci-fi set in a desert. So it was almost like sci-fi western.
Was it aliens?
Yeah. There was a spin in the alien theme that was really
They
interesting.
were racist?
Aliens did not discriminate. But yeah, I don't know as far as spoilers go on that, if you want to talk about that or not.
Okay, let's give... I personally don't care.
I don't care.
I wouldn't recommend watching it in theaters.
Okay,
if you're not going to recommend watching it,
Give
I
a
don't care.
spoiler warning, 3-second pause, so if anybody watching doesn't want to
Big
know.
spoiler alert here for Nope.
Okay.
The UFO is the alien. It's not a UFO.
The shuttle?
The UFO you see in the trailer is the alien.
So it's just giant in the sky?
It's a giant, kind of shape-shifty animal in a sense. The bottom of it in some of the close-up shots looks like a mushroom almost.
Yeah.
And gives it more of like an organic look. And the center of it, which is like what it would suck up people through, was the mouth.
Huh.
So it would eat people.
That
And-
sounds interesting.
Like what they did with the alien was interesting, but there was probably like a 30-minute, or it felt like 30 minutes at the end, where all you see is the alien. It's just, that's it. It's the monster and it's there the whole time. And it's like form shifted into what looks like if you took a grocery bag and like put it over a fan, just this like ballooned out, almost like
Like a jellyfish.
yeah, kind of like a jellyfish looking thing that it morphed into for, I don't know, to add on the terror of it. But it would ultimately shift back to its UFO form.
Is it supposed to be a horror movie?
That's all he's ever done.
I think people expected it to be, but maybe it wasn't supposed to
That's
be.
kind of what it felt like it was implied to be.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt just like a sci-fi kind of
Yeah.
aliens in the modern world sort of thing. But as far as like the characters, not a whole lot of depth for them.
I don't have any service.
The acting was decent. I can't remember the one dude's name, but he's like the lead in all of his movies, it seems like.
He was in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty monotone and flat the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very drawn in character. His sister was a lot more just the
Keke
opposite.
Palmer.
Yeah, she was very outgoing and flamboyant. So you had that parallel, which made it somewhat interesting, but not really compelling.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I was hoping for a lot more. There were some interesting shots and some, cool twist with the alien being the UFO instead of the little green men you would expect.
We were just talking about him the other day. Jordan Peele as a whole. Talking about his whole filmography and stuff. And he did the Twilight Zone show for a while. It almost seems like this movie is a long, drawn out Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, I would fit that vein.
Huh.
Yeah, but I think on the whole, his trend of missing the end, he's not strong in the final act. And this one didn't have enough in the first 2 acts to support.
Yeah. Which is what Get Out had. Because I still didn't like Get Out's ending personally either. But the first 2 acts of the movie are strong enough to still make that one a good movie. And then I feel like Us's ending is even worse than Get Out's ending.
Yeah.
And that one was a huge detriment to that movie, personally. I wasn't a fan of either one of them, really, because of their third acts. Mm-hmm. So if this one drug in the first 2...
Yeah. Pacing was just slow for the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And the whole premise was like this little carnival town, essentially, is where the character from The Walking Dead, he puts a show on there. Oh,
yeah, Glenn.
Yeah. And it wasn't until after the dad character died that they started having alien stuff, and it's like he was putting on the show to feed the alien. And it was just, it didn't set up enough to make it compelling. It all sounds
so interesting, though.
And when you describe it like that, concept-wise, it's interesting, but it doesn't deliver.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll wait then.
There was a whole through line of the scariest part was this cut scene back to when it was like a childhood trauma for I can't remember his name.
I don't remember his real name either.
That
Kevin
guy.
Yoon.
Yeah.
Kevin? Steven?
Steven Yoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. His character, he was a child actor on a TV show, and a chimp went wild and just killed everybody. Just murdered everybody on the set. That sequence was probably the scariest because you felt tension for the kid.
Because that really happens.
Yeah.
That's why that's scary.
That's grounded, yeah. But the CGI was bad on the chimp. It was better in Planet of the Apes 9 years ago.
Golly.
Compared to this. It was like, come on. But it was mostly their investment in the alien initially was to try to get video of it to sell.
Oh.
So their whole setting up security cameras and working with the guy from the tech shop was to get a camera shot of this alien and sell.
Oh.
So even that motivation was kind of weird. It would have almost played better as like a weird sci-fi comedy if they would have lent into that more.
Yeah.
Because there were some kind of funny points to it. But overall, it wasn't what I was expecting, and it just kind of fell flat for me.
That's unfortunate, too.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it.
I probably liked Last Night in Soho better. Of the 3 that I've watched in the past week.
That's probably some of the most movies you've watched in a while, though.
Been a while. Yeah.
Anything else?
I got nothing else.
You got anything else?
Nope.
I can't think of anything else either. Go ahead, wrap it up.
All right. If you like what you see,
Yep.
please like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. I am on Instagram at JahazielGood, and Jesse is on Instagram
At Popcorn and Coffee.
And Colin?
Page.
Colin BG.
on Instagram.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.